Buenos Dias a todas, and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Safari Mack in South America. I'm your guide and your host, helping you make connections to the wild. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for continuing to show your support by tuning into my videos each week and sharing my videos with all of your friends and family. But for those who are new to my channel, welcome. If you haven't done so, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you can stay tuned for more features. Check out my Facebook page for interesting animal facts as well as updates on special conservation projects. And if you have questions in general about me or about animals in general, feel free to send me an email, which you'll find the address down in the description below. But with that said, if we're all set and ready to go, today we are now heading into the biggest country in South America, Brazil, to track down the jaguar. No, not that jaguar. This jaguar. The third largest big cat in the world, as well as one of the top predators in all of South America. Let's begin with their family and their evolution. Now, if you have seen my previous episodes of the tiger, the leopard, as well as the African lion, then you may recall that the ancestor of all cats was this creature called Prolarius lemonensis, which was thought to have appeared roughly around 25 million years ago. So this was really thought to be the ancestor of both the big and the little cats. But now, believe it or not, the jaguar did not originally evolve in South America. Believe it or not, the ancient ancestor of jaguars was thought to have appeared roughly around 9.32 million to 4.47 million years ago, that would eventually, in time, evolve into the big cat that we know today. So believe it or not, they actually originally evolved in Eurasia, the region between Europe and Asia. But just like the earliest humans, as well as the mammoths, woolly rhino, and even some other creatures, some made their way across the Great Land Bridge that at one point connected both Asia and North America and would begin to colonize their place in North America's food chain. So originally from Eurasia, they would make their way to North America, where, believe it or not, some of the earliest jaguar fossils were found in Washington State, Nebraska, Tennessee, even making it to Florida, before they would eventually cross all the way down into South America, where they would eventually, as the saber-tooths became extinct, they would eventually take over the role as top predator. But they belong to the big cat family, which includes lions, tigers, leopards, and the snow leopard. Of course, what do all these cats have in common? Instead of being able to purr, they have their great ability to roar. But here's a new wild thing, and we're not even at the wild things yet. But believe it or not, if we wanted to compare with all the genetic ancestry and when they exactly first appeared, the jaguar is actually considered to be the oldest. See, I mentioned with the tiger and the lion that they evolved around 2 million years ago. Jaguars actually evolved around 3 million years ago. So in terms of lineage, these cats, the jungle cat, truly is the oldest of all the big cats that we know and love today. Let's continue now with their lifestyle and habitats. Now, jaguars are mostly found in Central America and South America. Here you can see in Central America, they're not exactly at their strongest hold, whereas South America really is their last strongest foothold, where they continue to survive today. Now, these cats are obviously built for a life in the jungle, but because of their place in Central America, they also can be found in desert areas, as well as grassland areas of South America. Now, these cats usually live near around a water base where they can easily cool off. Just like the tiger, they love to swim and need to be able to swim, not only to hunt their prey, but especially to cool off when the temperatures climb to well over 100 well over the hottest climb that anybody can withstand in their climate. Now, generally, jaguars live a completely solitary lifestyle. That is, of course, unless it's a mom with cubs or if it's a pair of courting jaguars. Now, typically these cats live around for 11 to 12 years in the wild, while in zoological parks they can live up to be 20 years old. How do they mark their territory? Just like all other cats, they use trees to sharpen their claws as well as to make markings on the tree to let others know this is my territory, as well as the old classic turn around and spray on the tree. Because so sensitive is the sense of smell in cats that a cat can smell a bit of pee and they can tell the identity and even the health of the animal by whoever left it. Now, let's talk about their diet. Now, before we begin, I want to explain something. For the longest time, human society has always kind of reflected their own way of living to how animals may live. Now, what do I mean by this? Here's just a big example. Lions. We've always loved lions as being the great proud hunters that would never steal from others and would never even scavenge from other kills, unlike hyenas. That's just not really true anymore. We've really romanticized nature maybe just a little too much. So instead, these cats are highly opportunistic hunters. They will eat anything that they can find. And it's important that they do that because when there's food to be concerned with, you take what you get. So jaguars typically will hunt capybaras, the world's largest rodent, tapirs, and peccaries, it's kind of a pig-like animal, but they're not really related to pigs. We'll get to them at a later time in Safari Mack. But in addition to that, as well as maybe the occasional armadillo, they will also hunt caimans, snakes. They'll even go after fish. But now, what makes them really unique from other big cats is that the typical nature of a cat, whether it's big or small, is to kill their prey by either biting at the throat or at the back of the neck. Unfortunately, that's not what jaguars do. Believe it or not, they actually will try to bite down between their prey's skull, which not just crushes their sensitive brain, but it can also fracture part of the spine, which causes death very quickly. So, in addition to all these animals, they're known to really tackle large and dangerous prey. Caimans to see a jaguar take down a caiman would really be a sight to behold, especially if you were to catch it on camera for yourself. But that's enough about the gore, and we'll just move on. It's time for their place in human culture. Now, jaguars have long been associated, in addition to their beauty, as well as other mythical settings, they've been associated with very, very, very deep South American cultural myths and legends. One of which, the Mayans they believe that the jaguar had the ability to cross between worlds from the daytime easily into the nighttime. Along with their physical appearance, because these creatures are very stocky, they are thought to have the power of prediction of when things are to come. And the rest of South America displays these creatures as warriors, or the sage of knowledge, that protects traditional foundations of knowledge. In some indigenous cultures, like in Peru, they are often associated as the sun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that's all I have time for today with the jaguar. So tune in next week for part 2. And until next week, this is Safari Mack, and I'll see you all out there in South America. Adios.